In this flicker, we'll look at planes, trains, canoes, and other vehiculars as we learn all about the history of getting from one place to another up here in the Yukon.
Tin Cup Kelly here, and we're at the Yukon Transportation Museum with Simon, one of the real knowledgeable folks that works here at the museum. Simon, tell us about this here nice museum.
We're starting here. We have, this is our Gold Rush displays. This is our entire basic history of transportation in the Yukon, starting from 1898 here.
Simon, I must tell you, now I don't want you, to get shocked or faint or anything like that, but I am a time traveler. So I know a bit about this firsthand, but I like knowledgeable folks like you to tell us about it, because it makes me real happy that it's being remembered and it's all being preserved by folks like you.
You probably enjoy a refresher then.
I would love to hear about some more. I'd love to hear about it again.
Sounds good. Imagine you've heard of, it all started, I imagine, 1896 from Dai. They hit an old First Nation who was one of the native trails. It's called the Chilkoot Trail.
That's right. That's right. And we've been stopping a few of these here locations and telling folks that the First Nation people, well, they were here and living and doing some amazing things. Maybe before we leave, we'll look at a few canoes and such. Look at this here. Wow, that's it. It's a simulation you got here of the Chilkoot.
Golden Stairs.
Wow, that's
remember the Golden Stairs.
That's a little easier of a climb than the Chilkoot, yeah. I'll guarantee you that. Should we go up there?
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about when I was on the Chilkoot, yeah. And I hear tell a lot of fellas were like this. When I took the Chilkoot in '97, I wished I'd taken the White Pass.
Yeah.
And then, even though I knew what the Chilkoot was like and how hard it was, yeah. When I took the White Pass in '98, I wished I was on the Chilkoot. So.
Kind of funny that way.
Oh, I guess it's been a while.
Rusty. Bit of practice.
That ain't bad. Can you play, Simon?
A little bit. Might know this song.
Oh, yeah.
Just a beginner, but
oh, that's nice.
So.
That's real nice. You tickle those ivories well, Simon.
Oh, thank you.
So, Simon, tell us about this train you have on display here at your museum.
This White Pass here, it was begun as an easier way through, as opposed to the Chilkoot. It was pressured by a lot of the new coming stampeders. Started in 1899, finished in 1900, and it starts in Skagway as a base there, goes up over Fraser at the border, and goes to Bennett Lake, where it still goes there.
Might easier with the train, let me tell you, going from Skagway to Carcross than it was in my day. It was some trouble. What you got here?
This little model train does run around here. I don't know if you want me to turn it on.
I would love you to turn it on, Simon. I love these little trains.
This here's Fraser, by the way, and that's Fraser, and that's Carcross there, Carcross Bridge there.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
It's a nice one.
Oh, that's a good model of the Carcross Bridge.
I'll just scooch over here under there. And
you get some birds flying here.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, this is some kind of model like I've never seen. Look at this here. Who in the world's that funny dressed fella over there on that balcony on the commercial hotel? Not like anybody I ever seen in my time. There it goes. Oh boy, that's a big one.
Yeah, this would be, Whitehorse About 100 years ago there. Yeah, 100 or so years ago, probably around a little after your gold rush there.
Oh, yeah. Just before I came to your time, I started to see these automobiles.
Yeah.
I call them vehiculars.
Yeah.
And don't get me behind the wheel of one of those, let me tell you, Simon. That
People,
wouldn't go well.
well, there's some people today maybe shouldn't be doing it either.
I've seen that. I've seen that. I hear you. And it's an aeroplane flying there.
Looks like a military one, I think.
Ain't that something?
There's some military stuff in here as well.
Well, we'll have to look at that. Here it comes back. Let's have a look, and then we'll go look at something else. But boy, because I could sit here all day just watching this here train. So what else should we look at here, Simon? You're the guide. You picked the. Well, oh my goodness! I just saw that airplane right there, and that airplane's got ain't got wheels.
That one's no. This one's got some landing gear. This one here is what they call a Queen of the Yukon too. It's a replica also, but
my goodness. You've flown in one of these?
I've flown in bush planes before. I've never been a pilot. I've never flown self, but I've been in them a few times. This one here ended up crashing. They tried to make it twice and it crashed, and the second pilot ended up dying, and he's claimed to fame as being the first Yukon flight fatality.
Well,
just too bad.
Sorry to hear that. Well, he's a brave fellow then. Be up in new fangled contraption like that.
Some of these makeshift trucks and mail wagons. And,
oh, that mail wagon looks familiar there, Simon.
And this guy, it's one of our trucks. They had to use wooden doors for some of this because they'd break and they'd replace it with whatever they had. So.
You may do. You may do, Simon. Wow, that's a fine piece you've got there. That's the nice thing about museums like this one here. They you take care of the history, don't you? Mm-hmm. So people can come here and they can learn all about all these things.
Probably familiar with this one, single file big dogs. They're the ones that were used most by the First Nations, sourdoughs, bush travel hauling stuff.
Is this here one of those places where you honor folks that have done things? Yeah. Is that what this is here?
They call this our Hall of Fame. Different people throughout the years, and some of these are from the 90s, of people given awards for different transportations, often starting in the gold rush area, but a lot of these 30s, born in the 30s, 40s, some of them are even still alive today.
I betcha. Wow, that's a real nice Hall of Fame you got. It's good you do this.
I'm glad.
Honor.
Nice to be familiar with some of the paddle wheelers. They went until the 50s. This here, I think, was the biggest of the fleet they had. It's Klondike. It's the real thing's downtown, actually. Yeah, they decorate it for Christmas every year, too.
Is that right?
All lights and
my goodness. I just love a model like that. That's just, boy, that's wonderful there. I like how you say, get my hands a little warm here, Simon. Oh, there we go. That's a nice little fire you got going there. You better not get those pillows too close, though.
No, we'll make sure of that.
Had a nice fire this morning. We're up at Klondike.
I imagine you're probably familiar with some of these guys.
Birch
bark canoes.
That's right.
Traditional, built First Nations. The men would carve the bark, and women would sew them together with roots. It was a community effort to things. Even some of the Tlingit down south, and they use these for thousands of years.
Well, that's a real handy use of birch bark. There's a fella, you probably heard of a fella, Tappan Adney. He was a reporter for Harper's Weekly. I met him a few times. He was on the Gold Rush, and that's all he talked about were birch bark canoes. He loved birch bark canoes. And now the First Nation people would make their canoes out of moose hide and other things. So what else going on over here? What you got? Oh, you got a mail sled.
Yeah, they're probably familiar. You might be familiar with this, the Overland Trail.
Oh, yeah.
It was before they put in the North Klondike Highway. This is where people went between Dawson and Whitehorse. different roadhouses, and they'd stop at places. There's a place called Montague Roadhouse. You can see it up near Cormac still. It's kind of in.
Oh, yeah.
Roadhouse. That's what they'd stay in. Those different places.
Might have had me a sarsaparilla there.
Okay.
Good cup of coffee.
I imagine.
Is there some other things in this other room here? Let's have a look.
The large back room of the museum highlights important Yukon history, including the building of the Alaska Highway. A myriad of historical transportation pieces are found here, including an ambulance used at the Canoe mine, a helicopter which crashed south of Old Crow in 1952, and a ZQC-6 custom Waco plane, which Northern Airways owner George Simmons purchased in 1938 and was restored to its current beauty by Bob Cameron.
Looks like something I might have seen in my travels to the far north.
Yeah, you might have seen these. These are up probably near the high Arctic.
Oh, yeah.
From the Inuit and up there. They'd have done these hunting seals, polar bears. One man made out of seal skin, and had to be some tough people to be up there.
Oh my goodness, they were. But they wouldn't just eat the animal and leave because this is made out of the skin.
Sewing too.
Ah, goodness, that's sinew there. You can see they're using the hide to make a very, very efficient mode of transportation.
Yeah.
That's what you're all about here, transportation, and boy,
exactly.
This is going through the sea in style right here. Keep you dry. This is one of those vehiculars for the Mounties, isn't it?
Yeah, they came up here I think first in 1894, made the presence of Sam Steele, everybody.
That's right.
This one's from some of the ones from the 70s and 80s they used to drive.
Good to see them out there, though. They're keeping people safe and keeping people honest. They're doing good work, those fellas. And ladies. Ladies and fellas. My time, I like that today they let the ladies do it, because there were some, tough ladies in my time, but they were told they couldn't do this and couldn't do that. But now they get out there and, hey, they get the job done. If somebody comes here to this here museum, I'm thinking right now at least 2 hours is what you should set aside. 'Cause we ain't even looked outside yet, have we?
No.
My goodness, maybe we should go outside.
You could. You probably saw the big guy outside there.
I did.
Why?
It moved.
Yeah, it's our biggest, supposedly the world's biggest weather vane.
Is that right? Well, yeah, that would. See, I don't believe I've ever seen one bigger. That's for sure.
One more big one.
Please tell us about it, Simon.
This guy, 1963, big, major crash here. Young woman, 1-year-old from New York, Helen Claiborne. She did a 40-year-old pilot named Ralph Flores. They were heading from Whitehorse in the BC, and they crashed right in the Yukon border, BC border, with little to nothing, sustained some serious injuries like February -45 and below, and stayed there for 49 days in the March. He had a SOS out, Ralph Flores, and that's how they were finally spotted, but 49 days.
49 days without many provisions or...
woefully underprepared, and so it's best lesson, be prepared.
That's right. I don't think I'd even be in an aeroplane flying over this here country without some good provisions. So that was the lean-to they created. Boy, that's well, at least they figured it out, and that was in this here Life magazine.
I think so.
Remember that Life magazine from my time.
Yeah.
Now, well, it's good they survived. Some don't.
She wrote a book about it as well.
Did she?
Called Hey, I'm Alive.
Well,
she wrote it, and they made a movie out of it.
So Simon, this is a solid little engine. Tell us about it.
Oh, this here's a little Porter engine. It ran for Coal Creek Mine starting in 1910 till the 40s, 50s. Built originally in 1888 down in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So 140 years old. Oldest piece here, I think.
Is it now? Yeah, that goes back. It goes back to my time. So that is old. That's a nice little. You got a little hangar, a little building here where you keep things in. Wow.
some of them. Negotiator, it's from the Oshkosh Corporation, which was named after a native chief in the 1830s. Except in these trucks. This here is a van from the 1920s. A young woman nun named Miss Eva Hassel. She decided to start a Sunday school program between here and Con, Alaska, and she decided she included other nuns who stayed up here 4 months. They became known as the Vanners.
Huh.
And this ran until the 70s. So,
wow. And then you got yourself another canoe here?
Yeah, not sure whose this is, but it's a little more modern, but it's looks like it'd go down the river pretty fast.
Well, so. maybe when we come back, you and I can take it out, Simon.
Maybe.
You and I can get out there and paddle down the Yukon, we think. I'll bring the salmon jerky.
Sounds good.
Well, you know what, Simon? This has been just a fine treat to have us here and give old Tin Cup a walk around inside and outside, and folks need to come here. If they're in Whitehorse, you're open most days, and it doesn't cost but a little bit of money. It's well worth it, and it's a real nice thing to do when you're here.
I think so.
Well, thank you, Simon.
Thanks for coming back, taking a look. Glad you able to come back.
You got a lot of knowledge up there about these things.
I imagine.
Yeah, you do.
Experience does that.
There you go. You're probably telling all kinds of folks about this here museum, and transportation, and boy, so much important history here.
Happy holidays from Tin Cup and the Friends of the Klondike Corridor. Travel safe.